Hey folks, today's a good day. As a matter of fact, it's a super day. That's because today I'm going to be making some soup. Sorry about the pun there. A friend of mine gave me a recipe for this rotisserie chicken and mushroom soup. I thought, that sounds pretty good. So that's what we're going to do in today's Throw It On Thursday. I'm going to make some soup. This recipe sounded really good. You take a rotisserie chicken, you add some mushrooms to it and a few other things, and you have a nice creamy hearty soup. Well, I thought I'm going to make this a little harder on myself. I'm going to actually make my own rotisserie chicken. I have an old Showtime rotisserie that's been sitting in the basement waiting to be used for a few years now. So I'm going to pull that rotisserie out and make some rotisserie chicken. Let's get started and make some rotisserie chicken and mushroom soup. For our rotisserie chicken mushroom soup, of course, we need chicken. It says rotisserie chicken. I am going to rotisserie my own chicken. It would be really easy to go to the grocery store and pick up a rotisserie chicken, but you know, I have a Showtime rotisserie that I don't use very often, so I'm going to break that out and cook a chicken. Of course, we need mushrooms. I got some dried mushrooms here. We'll have to rehydrate these and then saute those with some onions and some fresh garlic. For the soup base, we're going to be making a chicken stock, season it up with a little thyme and rosemary, and thicken it with a little flour and some cream. Of course, we need vegetables. Got some spinach here we'll be adding, and we'll finish it up by garnishing it with some chives. Let's start by getting this chicken on the rotisserie so we can have rotisserie chicken. Here is our chicken. I just need to dry it off a bit and then we'll season it up. I'm keeping the seasoning real simple with this chicken. I'm just going to use Kinder's The Blend. It's a salt, pepper, garlic mix. I love this stuff. There are plenty of other flavors in the soup to shine through, so don't overdo it with the salt, pepper, and garlic on the chicken. Sorry about my hands that are in the way all the time. I don't have a fancy studio. Time to put this on the rotisserie rack. I think we have it pretty good. I'm just going to put a little more seasoning on there because I seem to have rubbed quite a bit of it off. If you remember those old commercials for the Showtime rotisserie,
set it and forget it.
All you need to do is set it and forget it. We'll close it up. I have a 5-pound chicken here. It's supposed to take about 15 minutes per pound, so we'll check it in an hour or an hour and 15 minutes, make sure it's done. But for now, I'm going to let this thing smell up the house with delicious rotisserie chicken smells. As I mentioned, this house is smelling great. I think we have about a half hour yet to go. I just checked the temperature and this rotisserie chicken is done. I'm going to take it off the rotisserie, let it cool down a bit, and then shred some chicken for our soup. Boy, does that look good. I'm going to use half this chicken for the soup, and the other half Patty and I are going to have for dinner one night. So hot. My favorite part of the chicken, the thigh. The recipe calls for a couple cups of rotisserie chicken, and I think we have over 2 cups there. Hey, a wing. It's not boneless. It's got a bone in. I think this is going to be a little cook's treat. That's good. I'm fine chopping 1 onion. A couple cloves of garlic, finely minced. I rehydrated these mushrooms, so now we'll give these a little chop. These are most definitely meaty mushrooms. We want to make sure these are chopped up fine enough so that they'll easily fit on a spoon. I'm going to be chopping up this spinach now, but I'm going to remove the stems. I think it'll be a nicer texture without them. It's time to start cooking. I'm going to add a little olive oil. Let that heat up a bit. Start by adding our onions. We'll cook these until they're translucent, meaning you're starting to be able to see through them a little bit. After a few minutes, these are looking pretty good, so I'm going to add the garlic now. Give that about a minute to develop its flavor and aroma. Now I'll add the mushrooms. As you might recall, these are those dried mushrooms. They're very hardy. I suppose if you used regular store-bought button mushrooms, the texture would be a little bit softer. Now let's add some flour to this to start making the base of the soup so we have a nice creamy soup. We'll cook this for 1 or 2 minutes to get rid of that raw flour flavor. Time to add our soup stock. This is sort of a mixture of chicken base and some of that juice that those mushrooms soaked in. We'll add a little at a time. Try to avoid getting this lumpy. A little bit of thyme and some rosemary. I think I'm going to try to grind this up a little bit in my palm. Ooh, that smells good. We'll let this come up to a simmer and simmer for about 10 minutes. Okay, it's simmering, so we're going to let this simmer for about 10 minutes. All right, this has been simmering for a while. Time to add all of our chicken. And our healthy vegetables, the spinach. I'm going to let this simmer for another 5 minutes or so. We'll let all those flavors mingle together. And now to smooth it out even more, I'm going to add some cream. I think I'm going to like this soup. And now to finish this off, a little chives. Okay, this looks pretty spectacular. Once again, we're at my favorite time of Throw It On Thursday, trying what I made. Rotisserie chicken and mushroom soup. Okay, this is so good. The first thing I'm getting is the texture of those mushrooms. Nice hearty feel. This is creamy and delicious. Wow. Truthfully, I've been in a little bit of a rut with my varieties of soup. For those of you that know me from way back, you know, I was into soups a lot back then. I had my favorites: cream of chicken dumpling, gumbo, beer cheese, potato soup. Tell you what, this chicken and mushroom soup, so good. I want to thank my friend Mary from work for giving me this recipe. I'm glad you did. It is so good. Gotta tell you, that soup was pretty good. Rotisserie chicken and mushroom soup. I'm going to be making it again. It was an easy soup to make. It would have been a lot easier if I would have just bought the rotisserie chicken and maybe used fresh button mushrooms from the grocery store. The way I did it, it turned out great and it was a lot of fun. I really did have a super day today. I hope whatever you're doing, you're also having a good day. See you next time. Bye.